welcome to week 12 of the Synergy Speaker Series. Welcome.
And you are good to go.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right. My name is Miss Davis, and I do admissions at the Hartford Job Corps Academy. So that means I bring students into Job Corps. I'm just a portion of the admissions counselors that are throughout New England. And again, I do admissions for Job Corps. Today I brought a student from each trade. So I have 4 students here. We have Samantha Clark here that does insurance, that's in the insurance trade. We have DJ or Devon Sanders that does nurse assistant or has become certified in nurse assistant. We have Khadijah Roberts who does medical assistant. And then we also have Felix Mora who is doing manufacturing. I felt it best for them to come to attend because I can tell you all about it, but it's better to hear it from their mouths because they actually either are going through the trade right now or either can speak of their experience or have graduated from the nurse assistant program or some program and different things like that. So what I've given you today is a bunch of stuff, but it's just, a lot of information on Job Corps. So you have goodies. I like to give away little goodies and stuff like that. So you all should have this packet here. Could someone give Mr. Figueroa one of these? Wait, this in back of me. Figueroa one of these. But this in your packet, it has a Hartford specific brochure. So that means it's all about our Hartford Job Corps. We also have a women's flyer here because we are really looking for female students to join Job Corps. And then we also have the Hartford specific flyer. You have this flyer and you should have another flyer in there that basically is blue and white and it talks about Job Corps. And then for the instructors or professionals, they have the same thing, it's just in a different packet. Does anybody know anything about Job Corps? You should have this one. Does anybody know anything about Job Corps? Can you tell me what you may know about Job Corps? No one knows anything? Okay, well, we are the nation's largest educational and job training program for youth ages 16 to 24. The age for the Hartford Job Corps Academy and the New Haven Job Corps Academy is 17 to 24 because of laws in Connecticut. I will also invite you to attend our open house. We have open house every week, and it's held on Mondays, and it's from 8:45 till 11:30, and then I also just say 12 o'clock just in case you want to stay and ask questions. Job Corps has been around for 51 years, and we service about 65,000 youth a year. There's 127 Job Corps, and out of those 127 Job Corps, we service about 65,000 youth a year. And the 51 years that we have been around, we have serviced about 3 million youth. So that's a lot of young people that are being serviced or have graduated from Job Corps and out there, and they're impacting the world. Does anybody have any questions so far? No? Would you guys like to chime in and say anything? Yeah?
Well,
No? Yes? Well, well, we have 4 dynamic trades. We have insurance, we have manufacturing, nurse assistant, and medical assistant. We also have a high school diploma program. So if you don't have your high school diploma and you want to attend Job Corps, we have the high school diploma program that's through Penn Foster. It is an accredited high school diploma. It is a real high school diploma. Everybody's tenure in the high school diploma class is different. Some people have gotten their high school diplomas in 3 weeks. Some have gotten it in a month, 2 months, 3 months. It depends on the person and how they flow through the class. And we also look at your trade. I mean, not your trades, but your credits. We also have a GED program. So if that's something you're interested in, then we also provide you with a GED. We have driver's ed, so our students leave with either a permit or a license. We have a dormitory, so you can stay in the dorms, and I believe these 3 stay in the dorms. So they can tell you about that. Just you don't stay in the dorms? Oh, sorry, you non-res too? Oh, but they was living in the dorm. They was living in the dorm. Felix, you was never living in the dorm, right? Okay, well, I know somebody here lives in the dorm. And they can tell you about that experience as well if you have any questions about that. But we do have a dormitory. It's a really nice dormitory, a recreational facility. I Our students get 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And it's also for our non-residential students, because we have students that commute daily, and they're also able to participate in eating the 3 meals a day and different things like that. We have recreational activities where our students go off campus and go to the movies, bowling, skating, all kinds of stuff. We have parties on campus, Six Flags, Apollo Theater in New York, the Wax Museum in New York. We just had our Harvest Fest, which basically close out our like summer type of thing that we have going on, where we had like a rock climbing wall, and I don't know what that thing is, where it flies you in the air and something like that. We had a DJ and all kinds of stuff. So we try to do a lot of fun things on campus. It is a beautiful facility. We have a basketball court along with a exercise room, a fully equipped exercise room, and just a recreational area where they have like pool tables, and we have a school store that has things from hygiene products to oodles and noodles to you know, chicken, hot pockets, you know, all kinds of stuff that you can get from this little the school store. So it's a beautiful campus, and again, if you're interested and you want to know more, I would just advise you to come by the campus and check us out. So what I'm gonna do next is allow some of the students to speak on each trade. So in this other packet that I gave you, this packet right here is the packet that I give out on Mondays. I normally do not give this to people unless they come to the campus, and this is what they'll get from me. However, because I am such a fan of Synergy, and I'm also a graduate of East Hartford High, class of '95, and Synergy, we're like family, I figured I would just bring these over to you so you can have them as well, and you can get a jump start on if you're interested in joining Job Corps, what I expect or what the government is stating that they want people to bring in. Also, just so you know, Job Corps is government funded. So that means that these students, along with the other 150 something students that attend our Job Corps, go to Job Corps based off of like a scholarship. When you come to Job Corps, we want you to think of Job Corps as a job, not as a traditional high school. So some things that they would allow you to do in a traditional high school or an alternative high school, we do not allow at the Hartford Job Corps Academy, any Job Corps, because we're trying to prep you for work. We're all getting you prepared to either go to work, go into the military, go into some sort of form of post-secondary, or either if you get something like what DJ has, he's CNA certified, he can just go out into the work world and get a job working in a nursing field. So we try to prep you for that. So a lot of the rules and regulations that companies have for their employees, we implement at Job Corps, okay? So, but I do want to just tell you again, we have insurance, manufacturing, nurse assistant, and medical assistant, and that's on the 3rd page here. So what I'm gonna have our manufacturing, which is Felix Mora. I'm just gonna have him talk to you briefly about manufacturing. Felix hasn't been in Job Corps that long.
8 months.
It's been 8 months? Lord Jesus. I'm losing track of you, Felix. Okay, he's quiet. I don't hear a lot of negative, I don't hear negative about him, so that means he's doing very well in the program. But he is a student that I did bring into Job Corps, and I'm watching him grow and become more confident, and just speak very well of his trade and be very knowledgeable of his trade. So go ahead, you wanna tell me a little bit about manufacturing?
In manufacturing, we deal with materials, metals, wood, plastics. Essentially what you do once you get into the trade is you're just gonna be kind of making stuff, but you're gonna be using certain techniques with measurements, blueprints. You're gonna learn how to blueprint read, CAD drawing, learning how to draw your own projects and stuff. Working on the machines, we have mills, lathes, CNC lathe, a CNC mill, just full range of stuff. We even have we're still trying to get the welding department up and running. So.
Very good. So what do you like about manufacturing, Felix?
Me, the fact that I just make stuff. I get to go on a machine every day, just grab some material, make something out of it, you know. Set up a project, just make some measurements, yes.
So you do manufacturing. What kind of things do you make in manufacturing?
One of our projects that you can make is a vise.
What's a vice?
A vise is something that it holds materials, so it'll hold it in place while you're working on it, so you can just freely do anything.
So what happens is in manufacturing is one of our self-paced trades. All we're doing in manufacturing is teaching them could you stop doing that, please? Is teaching them the foundations of manufacturing so that they can go out and they can get a manufacturing job. Normally when they leave our manufacturing department, they make between $10 to $17 an hour, depending on which manufacturing plant they work for. So again, like Felix was saying, they have to do, I think, 4 projects. It's 4 projects that they have to do
In the whole
Is
year?
it 5?
Yeah, you have your T project, which is a manual project. You cut the material yourself, you file it down in size, put it on a grinder. Second project is drill press. So you learn different types of drills, what you need to do with the drill press, and taping it and everything. Either your third project will either be on the mill machine, which is kind of like a drill press except a lot more complicated. Lathe machine, which is just turning the material so you can cut it down to size, and your last project is on a CNC.
So if you were to look up jobs for manufacturing, you would note that they're looking for people that have CNC experience or CNC certification. That's like a huge machine that a lot of I think all manufacturing plants they use. So our students get that experience and are able to make things on it. So the materials that we use in our floor or our little warehouse thing, we use a lot of metals and plastics. And we also have what you call a 3D printer, which is really, really, really exciting. So say for instance, I'm a manufacturer and I make these pens, right? We make, I don't even know what brand this is, but we make these pens, right? So we would then come up with a blueprint, am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
You make a blueprint of this pen, you come up with all the measurements and different things like that. Then from there, you can go to a 3D printer. And a 3D printer is really nice because it's able to print out this object out of, like, say, plastic or metal, and you're able to see what you've made on your blueprint. You get to see it and it's tangible. So you can see if you gotta fix certain things on it. Maybe it doesn't have enough lines. Maybe it's missing some holes or some sockets and stuff like that. You're able to see all of that before you actually take the material that this company wants you to use to make this product. And it's really, really, really nice. Again, if you wanna see this, a lot of times when I take the people on a tour on a Monday, they're able to see the 3D printer in action because they're normally running it for us. Or Mr. Marco, who's the instructor, will allow the students to see some of the stuff. But it's good stuff, yes.
So if you were to make the pen, how long would it take you to draw it out and print it?
It would depend on you, honestly. If you're computer savvy, you know how to work around the computer pretty easily, you can figure out your points and stuff.
What's the best thing you've made in manufacturing?
Best thing I've made, we're working on a motorcycle right now.
You're building a motorcycle?
Yeah.
Alright, so when you say you're building a motorcycle, you mean like you building like a real motorcycle or like?
Yeah, we have its frame right now, along with some little minor parts. We still have to put some more on it, but it's a little side project that we're putting on hold for right now.
So I got a question. If you building motorcycles, is manufacturing the same as mechanic?
No.
What's the difference?
The difference would be manufacturing, you're creating things. The parts that the mechanics have, the engines, exhaust pipes, frames, and stuff like that, were made by manufacturers.
So for okay, Smith & Wesson, you know, make guns and stuff like that. Those come from manufacturers. Pratt & Whitney, Sikorsky, they make engine parts for, you know, huge aircraft, Rolls-Royce, different things like that. So they come from, so those parts come from manufacturers. Coca-Cola, soda, cans, bottles, plastic, whatever Coca-Cola makes, that's done in a warehouse, in a factory, so that we can eat it and drink it and stuff like that.
So basically, like the cars that's on the road, they come from manufacturers,
Yes.
Yes,
and
the
the
parts
people
does.
that work on them are the mechanics.
Right, exactly. Yep, exactly. So that's me. I love manufacturing. If I wasn't such a girly girl, I say this every Monday, I would be a manufacturer because you can make really good money. I am so serious. You can make really good, but I couldn't go to work with all this going on. So I just stay in my lane. But really, they make really good money. Like we've had students make $17 an hour. You're leaving Job Corps, you're 20 years old and you're making $17 an hour. That's decent money and that's livable in the state of Connecticut. You can get your little apartment, have you a little car note, you can even go out to the Cheesecake Factory and stuff like that and just have a good time, seriously. So, it's really good money in manufacturing. Even if you start low, like $10 an hour, that's fine. Within a 6-month time frame, you'll probably transition into the teens because a lot of employers wanna see where you are. I had a man come to orientation a couple of weeks ago, and he works for GE, and he said that they hire their manufacturers making $25 an hour. So that's the start at $25 an hour. So if you can go in there and you have the skills, you have the certification, and then you're able to speak well and present yourself and basically sell yourself for a position, you could get a job at GE or Colt Firearms or something like that. So it's a lot out there. It's a lot of companies wanting to hire manufacturers.
Also,
They're retiring right now. A lot of the particular people that work in manufacturing right now are retiring, and they're looking for young faces such as yourself and such as Felix to fill those positions.
You can, Job Corps also helps you get NIM certified. It's a certification that's recognized nationally. And it's honestly a really good certification. You can take it with you anywhere. It pretty much proves that you know what you're talking about, you know what you're doing. And employers honestly look, there's tons of different certifications. You get certifications for CNC, milling, bunch of different stuff. And it just shows employers that you know what you're talking about, you know what you're doing. And it looks good on the resume.
So that's what you're trying to do, is just build upon your resume. You want to build upon it because someone that's coming in and doesn't have experience, that employer will have to take the time. Maybe they did do well in the interview, but now they have to take the time to have somebody teach them how to do certain things. Whereas when you come in the door, you did well on your interview, and now the employer can say, I really want this person, so we're gonna hire them. You already know how to work that CNC machine. You're already familiar with certain things and that makes the warehouse run. So next up, we have insurance. Insurance is another self-paced trade. I do want you to know that insurance is not like an insurance, but it is more so administrative, data entry, call center, administrative stuff. So I'm gonna have Samantha talk to you really briefly about that.
Yeah, so basically for insurance, it's just you and the system. So I haven't been in insurance that long. It's been like 2 months or so, and you're just gonna be learning about the system, both input and output, as in hardware and software, right? So you're gonna be certified in the Microsoft Words, as in Access, Microsoft Words, Excel. Yeah, you're gonna be certified in those. Also typing, self-paced again. So you're gonna be certified in typing as well, and also certified in data entry, because data entry is one of the jobs that you can actually receive once you get your certificate in insurance. So that's one of the things. So you need to learn to, what's the word I'm looking for? In alphabetical order. Filing. You're gonna be, because that's one part of your certification as well. So you need to learn how to file in both alphabetical and numeral orders. And yeah, so basically it's just you and the system. It's self-paced, as Mistress said, and you have the instructor there to help you. So it's not that, oh, you have to know about the system, oh, you have to this, you have to that. No, you're gonna be learning it step by step. And once you're done, if you want to go into insurance, because you're going to be getting a certificate as well in insurance, because you need to know the terms, you need to know what it's all about, so you're going to get your certificate in that. So once you're finished, you can work as administrator, assistant, you can work in data entry. If you're a people person, you can go into sales, customer service. If not, you can just be a filing clerk or stuff. So one thing I love with insurance is that there are different type of job that you can actually receive in that.
Yes.
So you do manufacturing. What do y'all three do?
No.
He's the only one that's manufacturing.
You're the only one?
Yes, I brought someone from every trade.
So what's your trade?
CNA, medical assistant.
Medical assistants?
Yes.
How long do you have to be in school for
Let
that?
us talk, let's finish talking about insurance first, and then we'll talk about medical assistant and nurse assistant, okay? I just wanna give everybody an opportunity, okay? Anybody have any questions regarding the insurance trade? I know that, there's people that have left Job Corps. There was a young lady, can you sit up, please? There was a young lady that became an office manager. She left making $17 an hour as an office manager. There's people that work at Geico, that work at State Farm, that have gotten jobs working at MetLife. A young man did leave Job Corps working for MetLife, making $30,000 a year to start off. So it's all about what you do. The instructor for the class is really, really good, and he takes time out and he work with our students. I know yesterday they went to Microsoft.
Yes.
They went to Microsoft. So it's all kinds of things out there, and it's all in how you present yourself. You can go to a MetLife. He found that job on his own, and he interviewed for the job, and he got that job. You know, and we've never had a student get a job working for MetLife at a major insurance company in Connecticut, and to leave making $30,000 a year. This was a young man that was homeless. So to go from being homeless, coming to Job Corps, getting a certification, his high school diploma, to leaving Job Corps, making $30,000 a year, renting a room, and so it was able to make, stack his checks and then get an apartment. I think that that's awesome. So insurance is a really, really, really good trade. So you have to be really good with communication, because you will have to answer phone, hello, my name is, or how can I help you, or this is such and such. So you gotta be really good with those things. Next up, we have certified nurse assistant. So we're gonna have DJ.
But I do CNA. CNA is one of the courses that is not self-paced. It is 6 to 8 weeks. It is the quickest trade there. What you do is you check vitals, you care for people who can't care for themselves. In the trade, you read lectures, you go to clinical, you have labs. CNA is more for people. CNA doesn't make that much money, but it's more for people who want to help people who can't help themselves. So that's really all of CNA.
So basically, I got a question. With a CNA, do you work inside the hospital, or you work inside the hospital?
You can work in a hospital, you can work in a nursing home, and you can work in a group home.
You get paid the same amount in the hospital or a group home?
No, it'll be different. It varies.
So you only gotta go to school for 2 years and you're good.
No.
I'm sorry, let me just interject. This certified nurse assistant is the bottom of the nursing field. It's the beginning stages. I'm sorry, not the bottom, but it's the beginning stages of the nursing field, if you wanna go in stages. So it's CNA, which is certified nurse assistant, then you have clinical medical assistant, you can do like a LPN, and then you can become an RN, okay?
How long so it's 2 years for each thing?
No. With our certified nurse assistant, once you get into the college program, which is through Capital Community College, it is 6 weeks long.
6 weeks, so that's a month and a half?
Yes, yes. So, what we have on campus, I call it pre-CNA. They have it's like a preparatory thing. They're trying to prep you, get you ready to go into Capital Community College. Because our students, we get certification, they get their state, do their state exam and all that stuff through Capital Community College. So they actually become Capital Community College students. So on campus, we have the pre-CNA, so the instructor is prepping them, getting them ready with terminology, CPR, first aid certified, and they're getting ready to take their CASAS test, which is a test given by Capital Community College. And they're getting prepped for that. Then they're going to take that CASAS test. If they pass that CASAS test, they'll be put on the next list to start Capital Community College. Capital Community College rotates out every 6 weeks. So every 6 weeks, they're rotating out,
So you said the CASCA test,
yes.
does that determine if you will, but like if like from, will you be like transferred from a CNA to the next level?
No, the CASAS test is an assessment
Right.
selection. It's the assessment that's used by Capital Community College. So they're testing their levels, like their math and their reading levels. Because your math and your reading levels need to be at a certain place in order for you to successfully complete the program. So it's their assessment. So we're prepping our students for that. Then they take the CASAS test. Again, that's through Capital Community College. They take that test. If they pass that test, then they'll be placed hopefully on the next list to start CNA at Capital Community College.
And the CNA at Capital Community College, they learn more than they do at Job Corps.
Well, they doing their clinicals, they have classroom work to do, and then they also do clinicals. So they have hands-on, where they actually go to home, like elderly homes, convalescent centers, rehabilitation centers, and they actually do their actual work stuff that they learn, hands-on work with actual clients in the community, right? Am I correct? So that's where they're doing all the stuff we're teaching, the vitals, how to lift patients, how to do all that stuff. They're doing that actually at a facility, and they can show their skills. And then they'll take their state exam.
So if you wanted to work at a nursing home or a rehabilitation center, you have to do 2 years at Job Corps.
No,
And
I don't know where you get into 2 years from. It's 6 weeks. Once you get into Capital, it's 6 weeks.
So you only have to do classes for a month and a half and then you're certified. So right after you're certified, you can start working.
so I think I get it. So basically, you're only considered a certified CNA after you go to Capital Community College.
Yes.
After you
Alright.
pass the state exam, and then you
Alright.
become, so he went through a couple of weeks on our pre-CNA on campus, then he got accepted into Capital. So he went to Capital for 6 weeks. That's when he was able to show his skills. He had clients, he had to, do all kinds of stuff with his clients, and then he took the state exam. When he took the state exam, he passed it. So now he's a certified nurse assistant. Okay?
You go to Capital Community College now?
Not anymore.
Not until January.
He's
Because
gonna-
CNA is like you said, it's a stepping stone. Nobody wants to make a career out of CNA. It's a great job, but it's not enough to live on. So a CNA is just to get your foot in the door into the nursing field. So once you're a CNA, people like to move up, like to a CMA, to an LPN, to a registered nurse, EMT, paramedic.
So what would be your next step from the CNA?
Nursing.
You go straight to nursing.
He's
Yeah.
going, we have a college program. So he was just accepted into our college program. So, DJ will be going to college for nursing. Registered nurse?
I thought that's why you
Registered nurse.
go to Capital Community College.
Capital Community College provides them with the certified nurse assistant. We're working with Capital Community College to provide this service to our young people. Now, DJ can apply through our college program to go back, because he's been accepted, to go back to do the registered nurse program, which I believe they do have. And then that probably will take 2 years, because that's really, really intense, a lot of work, a lot of responsibilities, and then that will take 2 years for him to become a registered nurse. Okay, so that's a little bit different, but this is just the foundations. We're providing you with the foundations to get you started.
So how long would it take until you actually start working inside the hospital?
He can work in the hospital. Well, if he applies to a hospital, if he sees a job at a nurse, to be a nurse assistant, or at a clinic, or at an elderly facility, or a rehabilitation center, or something like that, he can apply for that now because he's certified.
You gonna apply to work at the hospital?
A hospital, I really want to work in a group home.
What's the difference?
A group home is for people who they're more aware of what's going on. Like a nursing home are really for people who can't take care of themselves at all.
Yeah.
A group home, you're just really helping. You're just there to keep an eye on them, making sure they or doing, monitoring what they do.
Okay, so he is eligible to work. A lot of CNAs, they do rehabilitation centers, they work in elderly homes, they may work at a group home, they may do, visiting nurse, like a, where you can stay in a person's home with them and just kinda like help them. We had a young man who, he was homeless. He was staying at Job Corps, but he was homeless, and he got a job working as a, an in-home nurse for a man that was Hispanic, and he specifically requested a nurse that can cook him rice and beans and Spanish food. That's what he wanted, and assist him. But he was he could do a lot of things on his own, but he did need it to be monitored. So this young man that was in his situation, he applied for the job and he got it. He spoke Spanish. He is able to cook. He could cook the rice and beans and some other things that he liked as, you know, a Latin man. And the man hired him to work for him, and he was getting paid like $110 a day to work. And he worked like maybe four days out of the week, and then the other 2 days he was off. Other 3 days he was off. So it's a lot out there that you could do in CNA. But I always encourage people to not just stay there. Some people really just want to be a CNA, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I always tell people, be the best CNA you can be. Be a shift leader, be a supervisor, be a manager. Make the most money you can make in that position, okay? So you can make $10, $12, $15, $14 an hour doing CNA. It depends on where you work, but mostly between $10 to $13 an hour a person would make in CNA to start off.
So
Okay.
you said the guy that cooks rice and beans for his patient makes $110 a day.
He made $110 a day.
So that means on average he makes about $2,900 a month.
He made like $400 and something a week. He made $800 every 2 weeks. He made $1,600, a little over $1,600 a month.
So $1,500 a month.
So he made
Oh,
about
no.
$1,600 a month, a little over, and he's doing okay. Okay. So but you know, you're asking some really good questions. You're asking some really good questions, but I think we're on a little bit of a limit. So I'm gonna go on to the next one, and then if you have a lot of questions after, I'll be more than welcome to answer those questions afterwards. Okay.
All right.
So the next one, anybody have any questions for DJ before we move forward? And again, thank you so much, you're really good. I'm like, yeah. Next up, we have medical assistant. Now, medical assistant is lockstep. So that means once you're in medical assistant, you're in it for 6 months. I heard they're gonna change it to 4 months, but right now it's still like a 6-month time frame that you're in the class. So, is it?
No, it's staying 6 months.
It is? Okay, well, I heard that they were gonna change it, so we'll see what happens with that. But I'm gonna have, Khadijah talk to you about medical assistant, okay?
Hey, hi. Basically, a medical assistant, you're not gonna be sticking to one thing. You are constantly gonna be doing different things because you're gonna be so the 3 certifications you get in medical assistant is basically EKG technician, phlebotomy technician, and your CCMA, which is your certified clinical medical assistant. Me, I already have my phlebotomy tech.
She just passed her test, so wanna give her a round of applause for that. She's certified in phlebotomy, congratulations.
And with that, I'm able to go to the hospital and take blood from people. And with that, you're making at least $14 to $20 an hour, depending where you go. If you work in hospitals, you're most likely to get 15. You work in private practices, you're most likely to get more, because private practices that take out blood pay more, because hospitals pay them to get what they need. And with CMA, you're gonna be working in labs sometimes, because you need to process laboratory specimens. It can vary from pregnancy tests, from this to that, anything from drug tests as well. And with that, you're getting hands-on experience with everything. And also, we do a little bit what insurance does. We do billing and coding. We deal with filing systems. We deal with computers all day, putting in appointments and whatnot. And if you're into, working behind a computer, you can do that. Administrative work. It's very interesting, but me, I'm more hands-on. So I like to stay in the labs and move around. as well as we do vital signs, we check people, we basically, as CMAs, when it comes to CNAs, they're more of a patient care, we're more of administrative work when it comes to that patient. So basically, we're mostly getting information from those people while they're taking care of them. And they have the most important job just as well as us, and so we work together a lot. But with CMA, so with CMA, you're doing a variety of stuff. You're not doing one thing, and with it, you can like I got my phlebotomy certification. If you go to a community college, you're paying $1,800. I got mine for free, and all it took was dedication, studying, and it's not that hard. It really isn't. Yeah, I stuck 20 people, and I was.
Almost killed me.
Somebody else did.
I was a victim too.
So what she means by stuck, maybe that's not the word she should use. She withdrew blood from 20 humans.
Yeah.
And that's part of their certification is that they do have to do live pricks and withdraw blood from humans. So they practice on a fake arm with fake blood, and then they have to move from that into possibly pricking on each other to then going into pricking on staff or students that say that they will do it. This year, no one came to me, so I'm so excited about that, but I am there as your motivator to say, you better go ahead and find that vein. But for me, I'm good. But yeah, for Khadijah is a little different, where it's not that hard for her, but medical assistant is very tedious in the sense of you have to be structured and you have to want to study and you have to want to read. This is a trade that you will have homework in. You may not have homework in these other trades. You can kind of leave your work in your classroom. But in this trade, you will have homework. You will have to study. You will have to get with other partners and study and go through things together and have little index cards and different things like that. You may need to move in the dorms if you're a non-res student, just so you could be around other CMAs or students that are in that class, so you could work together. So it is a huge trade. It can be difficult, but thank you, Khadijah, for making it seem so just you can just glide through.
To be honest, I'll be really honest with you. If you don't put in the initiative to work, then you're not gonna get far. Cause honestly, it's not hard for anybody as long as you take initiative. Cause me, I got there late. I got 2 months late. So I was stuck with homework, like piles of homework, to where I was like, how am I gonna do this? Oh my gosh, like, and I was saying to myself, I need to catch up, because they were gonna have me wait till January to get there.
And let me just say this about Khadijah, somebody that I brought into Job Corps. Khadijah presented herself into me excellent, very, very, very well. And I told Khadijah that the class had already started, but that she should talk to the director, not the manager over the department, and see what she can do. And that's exactly what Khadijah did. And she came in, I see you, sweetie, I'm gonna get you in just a minute. And she did that, and she spoke to them, and she went into the classroom. And, some people might have doubted, like, if she was gonna be able to make it, but she did, and I'm so very, very, very proud of her. Let's answer this question.
So the dorm rooms you gotta pay for being in there?
Every Job Corps is free.
Everything's free?
Everything is free,
Wow.
except for the soda at the machine.
$1.25.
In the school store. Yeah, so if we have something and we wanna have pizza, and you say we at the bowling alley, we bring like 10 pizzas and 15 things of soda, and it's for everybody, and then you say, I want some chicken or some mozzarella sticks, well, that's on you. Okay, but I'm gonna go with what's free. So, but other than that, it's a free program. All the government wants you to do is just to be successful. Be successful and abide by the rules and regulations at Job Corps, because we do have a lot of rules. One of the things that we have that can be a little bit uncomfortable is that we have a cell phone policy. Was you done, Khadijah? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was kinda done, but it's alright.
Oh, you can talk to, if you would like to talk to them afterwards, that's why I brought them with me. So that they can tell you what it's like for them. Another thing that we have is a cell phone policy. We have a strict cell phone policy, whereas I see now people have their cell phones and different things like that. That's not something that we allow at our school. So our students are not allowed to use their cell phones, 7:55 to 3:30. We have a strict cell phone policy with that. If we find your cell phone on you, we can take it. We'll take it
For 15
for
days.
15 days. And you'll get it back in the 15 Also, she couldn't be a phlebotomist and be on her cell phone taking Snapchats and selfies all day and be able to provide quality service to a person that she's withdrawing from. First of all, you want to be nice because people are terrified of needles, okay? You need to be focused, you need to be able to find that vein and not think that a stretch mark is a vein, okay? So you gotta be focused. How could you do that if you have your cell phone in your hand? You understand? So it's not a punishment, but these are what these employers are looking for, so therefore we implement it at our campus. Another thing that we do on our campus is we do, everybody has to take a drug test. So drug testing is mandatory. When you first come in, you are drug tested. Everybody is drug tested. And then if you don't pass the first drug test, you'll be given another one within a 33 to 43 day time frame. If you don't pass that testing, you're terminated. So it's again, we're not traditional school. We are a place that's teaching you employability skills. And when you go out to the real world, when you apply for these jobs, they're gonna test you for drugs. And so are you gonna pick a dime bag over making $17 an hour? Are you gonna pick a puff pass party over making $10 an hour? The choice is yours. It's a time and a place for everything. Do you understand? It's a time and a place for everything. So our students have to be committed to being drug free. And maybe that's an issue for some of you. I don't know. However, it's a time and a place for everything. It's a time to be a little girl and a little boy, and it's a time to be a grown woman and a grown man. Do you understand? So for me, at my age right now, that is not an issue. But when I was your age, and in here in East Hartford, hanging out on Silver Lane, Burnside, stuff like that, it was an issue. But it's not an issue for me now because again, it's a time and a place for everything. So this is something that we do. Hopefully that doesn't turn you guys off, but it is a policy that we have under our zero tolerance policy that we do have to do this with our students. So if this is something you want to do, you want to work on becoming clean so that when you take that test, you will be as close to zero as possible. Because if you're not, when we test you again, and if it comes back positive, you will be terminated from the campus. So, I mean, there are policies and procedures, but there's a lot of incentives to being a part of Job Corps. Again, it's federally funded, and you get paid every 2 weeks. Our students get paid every 2 weeks, a stipend. It's not much money, but it is a couple of dollars in your pocket. And then once they graduate from Job Corps, they'll get money. So if you graduate with a high school diploma and a trade, then you leave with $1,000. If you graduate with just, your trade because you're coming in with a high school diploma, you'll leave with $750. Yes.
Are they allowed to have like a part-time job?
You can, but as long as it doesn't interfere with our school day, which is 7:55 to 3:30. So after 3:30, I would say travel time, depending on if you have a car or if you have to catch the bus, I would just say work after 5. So from 5 to a reasonable time for you to get home and get yourself prepared to come to school.
Quick round of applause, because unfortunately we are out of time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very